The steelworks in Port Talbot are well lit in the dark, but not like this. It's just gone 3:30 in the morning, and as this vehicle passes on the M4, the dashcam picks up explosions. There is no sound, but the flames and the smoke are clear to see. It's heard west towards the Gower, east in Bridgend, and even into the valleys. Paul was in my stag and headed straight to Port Talbot.
The actual house shook slightly, and when I went up to the local garage about 10 minutes later, they said that they actually phoned the police there because they thought somebody was breaking into the garage. The actual building really shook badly there.
From another angle, you can see how close homes are to the site. Some said they thought bombs had gone off or an aeroplane had crashed. In a nearby street, Amy wondered what had happened.
The windows were shaking. Obviously these old houses as well, these were shaking really bad. I'm in the back room, my bed's up against the window, and my window was actually shaking. My bed moved as well, so it's quite shocking actually.
But Street, 3 big huge bangs and big flares. We was out there at 4:24. There was all smoke all up there.
Massive explosion over Port Talbot steelworks.
Those who saw or heard the blasts naturally feared the worst. There have been explosions here before, and it has resulted in deaths. But as emergency services dealt with the aftermath, it soon became apparent this was not the disaster many feared. Just 2 people were harmed, with only minor injuries. So what caused it? Well, it's thought to be this. It's called a torpedo, and it carries molten metal into the steelworks. This is how it should look. But this is how it looked after the blast, in photographs obtained by ITV News. The damage to the torpedo is obvious, and the impact it had on the surrounding area.
They were transporting molten iron from the blast furnace over to the boss plant. It seems at this present moment we've had a derailment which has resulted in the torpedo tipping over and spilling out iron, molten iron, which has come into contact with water that's been laying on the floor from the weather, creating a large explosion.
This steelworks has seen harder times. But today in Port Talbot, there is just relief that this won't be among its darkest days.